Welcome back to Whiskey Sports. I'm here with my guy Rhett.
What is up?
How you been doing?
Well, I got a different jersey on today,
Yep, I'm not
but
a big
I am definitely not off the Titans bandwagon. I saw it in my drawer. I'm moving a little bit and thought, you know what? I'll rep the old Tennessee boy, Alvin Kamara. He's been great on my fantasy team this year, so thought I'd pay him some love. And I do kind of second favorite team is the Saints. Anybody who knows me knows I was always a huge Drew Brees fan, my favorite player of all time. So thought I'd switch it up a little bit. But no, it's been fine. Tough weekend for both my teams. One weekend was good though. The Titans, they showed up, they played well, they did about all they could do and kind of got cheated there at the end. It really wasn't their fault, but got conservative with the play calling.
yeah.
Trash receivers dropping the football. Malik actually played well. I don't care what the box score said.
I'm going to agree with you on that. I'm going to absolutely agree with you on that.
But
Uh,
regardless, if Tannehill plays that game, we win.
correct. And
Because there was still
well,
some times where I was really shaking my head like that was not a good play.
I guess
But
I'll
he
have.
dropped some dimes.
He did, and this is the thing. So on average, so the space that wide receivers are getting, the NFL average I think is 2.9. The Titans' best is Robert. Well, I'm sorry. The Titans' best are two tight ends, and they're averaging. I think it's still not good, but I think it's 2.0. Our tight ends, our main tight ends, are averaging two. Robert
Yeah.
Woods leads the team at 1.8 for wide receivers, and then Westbrook-Akeen 0.9.
Yeah. I mean,
Worst in the NFL.
they've been
Wide
rough.
receivers aren't there.
Traylon should be back this week though, so
Correct.
get a big step up there. In
I
the
told
other game, the
that
Vols, they got punched in the mouth,
they did.
straight up. Georgia, in the games they've had to get up for this year, they've had some duds, Kent State, Missouri, but the games they've had to get up, they've gotten up in a good way. But the season isn't over.
No.
Kirby Smart, if you remember, in his second year, he went to Auburn, got absolutely annihilated, and was one game away. Everybody knows the Tua throw to Devontae Smith. One play away from winning the national championship. So I just think they were probably prepared, but they went into a hostile environment that was nuts and just got outplayed, got hit in the mouth and in the first quarter, played good after that. But Hendon had his shots, man. He had a chance three separate times to get us back in the football game and just overthrew wide open receivers. I don't know what it was. I don't know
And
if
it
it was
wasn't
the
that bad.
pressure.
Yeah.
I don't know if the corner blitzes were getting to him because the game plan Kirby had was pretty good, but he was overthrown. Now, the whole game isn't blamed on him, but he did miss throws he hasn't been missing all year. And then I've read that, or actually Kirby in one of his interviews said he hired a guy on in the spring of this year and dedicated him to only watching Tennessee film from then until they started game planning 2 weeks ago because he said we just haven't seen this offense in the SEC and I wanted to be as prepared as possible. And then he said he didn't even game plan for Florida that whole week. He was game planning for Tennessee. So this man was ready for us. But I like our positioning. I would have a close loss or a win would have guaranteed us a spot in the college football playoff. And now we need some people to lose, but I think our positioning is great with who TCU has to come up and play, who really just TCU because Michigan, Ohio State, they're just going to be one of them has to lose that game, and then if TCU loses this week at Texas, we're right there. This is going to be probably tough for the viewers to think of, but I do want Georgia again. I just think we came out flat. You give Heupel a month to prepare for that defense. I think we'd fare off better. I'm not saying we're a better football team, but we definitely put up a better showing than what we did Saturday day. So
Overall, Georgia just played a perfect game.
they did.
All it comes down to. They played a perfect game. They played perfect football. They did slip up on, I think it was the first drive, second drive.
Yeah.
Other than that, perfect football, perfect game plan. Nothing you can do about it. You lost by 9,
14.
Oh, it's
It,
14.
it was a bigger deficit than 14 though, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But there was still even in the fourth quarter to Princeton Font down the sideline, 3 minutes left. There was a wide open pass to cut it to 7. In wet conditions, maybe you get an onside kick, but you still have 2 timeouts. You could stop them. So there was opportunities all over the place to make it even closer. Hendon just had a bad day. You're gonna have bad days, and
And
that was
I don't even want to consider it bad. I just don't, to beat Georgia, he just didn't play as well. Like I said, I
yeah,
think Georgia overall just played a perfect game. There's nothing you can do about it.
yeah.
You move on, you chalk it up, and if you
Yeah,
get
no, you move on. I wasn't even really mad. I get more upset in losses when we lose by like a freaking last second chance. Like,
yeah,
because first quarter they go up 14-3 and you're kind of like, oh shit. Here we go. But we had the ball on their side of the 40 six separate times. So we just didn't do what we were supposed to do. That's okay. You move on. You don't let them beat you twice. You come out here, you got to get style points now. You beat the shit out of Missouri, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. You'll be in a fine position. Don't have to go get beat up in the SEC championship. I would rather be there. I'm just saying,
yeah. It
you
definitely
know,
helps. Clemson loses. It definitely helps.
Clemson got annihilated. God,
Yeah.
they're such frauds.
And I saw a quote today. Dabo is sticking with Ukulele as his quarterback. He said that's his leader. That's his team. I don't know how you don't go with the freshman. The freshman has clearly came out and showed that he is better. But
Yeah.
I get it from the team standpoint. You want to keep. He's a leader.
I mean, that was a domination. It
Yeah,
was
it was what 35. I think was it 28-0 at one point.
it was 35-7 at one point.
Yeah, I mean, Dabo, you're done.
Against a team that's lost to Marshall this year. They've been improving every week. There's no doubt about that. I think Notre Dame, I'm putting USC on upset watch when they go to Notre Dame at the end of the season. I think that can also be a game. I believed in their coach at the beginning of the year. I think he's a player's coach, and I kind of slipped up there when they lost to Marshall and company. I was like, okay, I don't know about all that. But now he kept them all together. They're playing good football.
Yeah, and it's his first year, man. First time being head
First
coach.
year.
They're going to be okay. I feel like. Now talking about college ball playoffs, I think in my opinion, my fourth that should be in as of right now. Okay, well I don't want to say as of right now because I'm just going to say my future playoff area. That's better. Future is going to be Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Tennessee 3, and then Michigan 4. I don't like Oregon. We're not going to get into that. I think TCU loses to Texas this weekend. If TCU loses one game, they're done. I think overall, Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, Tennessee are the four best teams this year, no question.
Yeah, if you're going by best teams, but I think one's Georgia, two's Ohio State. Depending on when they want when and if they want a Tennessee Georgia rematch, I don't know if that's going to play out for the 3-4. But I'm going 3-4 Tennessee and Oregon. Depending on what they do, depending on what Oregon does, obviously the rest of the season. Michigan just doesn't have the resume this year to go up against a one-loss Pac-12 champion. And I'm not saying Pac-12 is strong, but they have a lot of ranked teams, and Oregon would have 3, 4, 5 ranked wins to Michigan's one Pac-12 championship, not a Big Ten. I'm not saying Michigan can't beat Ohio State. I think that's still very possible.
Well, yeah, if that happens, then Ohio State for sure is 4, and they're over Oregon.
I still don't think so. Their resume sucks too.
I'm not saying the resumes are good or not, but I think just losing to Michigan or Ohio State, whichever one loses, and
it depends on the severity of the loss.
If it's a close game winning field goal.
I still think they put in Oregon over them because of the resume.
They're one Oregon
just agree to disagree.
Listen, they won Oregon in that thing. They're hyping up Bo Nix. They're saying he's a Heisman candidate. I hate it. I want to just freaking jump off.
And it might not be Oregon. I mean, I think if USC is the one-loss Pac-12 champion, I think you do put a Big Ten team over them because USC's resume sucks.
Yeah.
They haven't played the only team they played that's ranked is Utah, and they lost. I mean,
so.
But I think USC drops they may drop the Notre Dame game at the end of the year, and Oregon still has a couple losable games. Washington and I'm not losable. They're going to win, but Washington and Oregon State are still losable. They should win by 14 plus.
Will they play USC in the championship?
Yes, I think as long as USC doesn't drop like another game in the Pac-12.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they would face off in the Pac-12 championship. But no, the rankings right now, I don't agree or disagree with it. I don't disagree with it because I'm fine with putting an undefeated TCU team at 4.
No question.
I disagree with it if you thought TCU's resume was worse than one-loss Alabama's last week. I don't see how it's better than a one-loss Tennessee who lost to a better team in Georgia this week because TCU beat Texas Tech and was losing in the fourth quarter in that game.
Yeah.
I agree that they should be 4. I'm just saying if you had them behind Alabama that last week, you should have probably, if going by the same circumstance, you should have probably had them behind Tennessee this week.
Correct.
But again, I don't agree or disagree. I'm fine with them being at 4. I think they deserve 4.
Overall, like I'm more on. I'm watching the football games and I see who's better. I don't give a shit about your obviously if you're
The resume matters, man.
But I'm saying Tennessee deserves to be over TCU. If Tennessee or let's say TCU wins out, Tennessee obviously is going to win out. Tennessee deserves. I mean, they deserve to be over. I guess TCU would be 3, and then it would be up against Michigan. Let's say Ohio State wins. My head, Michigan or Tennessee, because Oregon they lost 49-3 against Georgia. You can't lose that bad.
I understand that. I think the committee's going to play like they all are saying. First game of the season. It's like, I mean, you still lost. Like
Bo Nix does not. I mean, Bo Nix doesn't play well against good teams, man. And
good defenses I don't know about good
it is
teams.
killing me to listen to everybody talk about, oh, Bo Nix is a Heisman candidate. I understand he's got the stats, and we all knew with him going to Oregon, he would have the stats. But look at the defense he's playing against, and then look who he did play against, and look what he did. Just not good.
And they've had some struggles this year against some teams. It's not like they've just been blowing everybody out. They had a close win against Stanford. They had a 44-41 win against Washington State. Like, let's not act like they've just been blowing teams out every weekend. Now, they did have a good win against UCLA by 14. Okay, but they still have struggled in games.
Still UCLA, like it's just they're not a good football team. It drives me insane.
But at the end of the day, I'm okay with the rankings, and I'm just like, I'm going to be distraught if we went out and don't somehow make it, but I'm still going to be happy, man. I mean, we're going to be in the Sugar Bowl. It's a successful season at 11-1 when I haven't even sniffed an 11-win season my whole entire life. So I would still be happy. I would be distraught not making the playoff and not getting a shot at one of those top 3 teams or top 4 teams, but it would still be a successful season in my
opinion. Say they were saying one thing was going to happen there. I don't know this situation, but I'm just going to tell you what they said on 104.5. They were talking about bowl games and just all the games. They're saying Tennessee and Oregon are going to play. Now, how would that happen? Oregon losing one more and then Tennessee not getting in and then them playing? Because if y'all both went out, one of y'all will be in, right?
I mean, unless they I mean, it'd be impossible if we both went out, it'd be impossible.
That's what I'm thinking too.
For Oregon or Tennessee not to get one of the two, not to get in, if not both.
Yeah.
Depending on the TCU situation.
Okay. They were saying y'all were going to play in a bowl game, so I was kind of confused on how that situation would happen. They were talking about 104.5. They just talk. So
because I think in the Sugar Bowl we'd play a Big 12 team. I think that's how it's been. SEC versus Big 12 generally is.
Is the Sugar Bowl in the playoffs?
Huh? The Sugar Bowl is not the playoffs.
Okay.
Sugar Bowl is the highest ranked non-playoff SEC team.
Correct. I just didn't know if this year that it would be that is considered the in the playoff now, because now it's what, orange and something this year.
What? Yeah, the orange and what's the Fiesta? What's played at Atlanta? Fiesta?
Chick-fil-A.
Huh?
Is it Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, Chick-fil-A. Peach Bowl.
Peach Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think everybody's in a good, and then even your boys, Auburn performed pretty well, I guess. I mean, Mississippi State's not good, but
listen, man,
anything that's close and that there's some points on the board, man, is considered a moral victory at this point.
That was the best we've looked all year, man. Those kids are out there playing for Cadillac. We scored 33 points. I think we lost 36-30 or something in overtime.
Yeah.
The boys are out there playing for Cadillac, man. Cadillac's out there living a dream, and it's great to see. We're scoring the ball on offense. I don't think we had a throwing touchdown, but we were back to our basic. We're going to run the ball through your face, and you got to stop it. For a lot of read option, a lot of under center for Tank Bigsby and Jacquez Hunter. So we looked really. I mean, I don't want to say we looked really good, but for the year, we looked really good, man. I was happy to watch that, to be in a game.
And you got who this week? Texas A&M.
A&M.
Do they still have people out for the flu?
I don't know, but
because they had 11 starters out last week and got steamrolled.
Yeah, I know. We're actually favored in the game for once, which blows my mind. They said that the stadium's already sold out and all this shit. I don't know.
I wouldn't just sell it out. It's a night game.
It may be rocking, man, but I don't. I think Texas A&M will win if everybody's back healthy.
Yeah.
You
I'm just looking at my phone now for other games last week, but there wasn't a ton of. I mean, we can get to the damn LSU Alabama game. We haven't talked about that.
What a game.
Hey, respect to Brian Kelly. If any viewers saw, I mean, at the beginning of the year, I said I don't think this is going to work at all. Now, I know that we know Brian Kelly's a good enough coach to get 9-10 wins every season. It's just the fact, can he win the big one? Last week was a big win. I mean, he beat Saban. I'm not saying Alabama is the same this year as in years past, but they still have talent all over the field.
Yeah.
It was a huge victory. He had the balls to go for 2 at the end. I thought that was the right decision.
Absolutely.
You just can't keep giving Bryce Young the ball. At some point, he's going to beat you, and the defense is going to show up.
Yep.
But they've only improved throughout the year. So kudos to Brian Kelly and LSU. I mean, I think what I see when I watch Bama, the big thing is, yes, their defense isn't as good as it used to be, but it's not like they were still stopping LSU at times. And it's not the run it's the pass blocking of the O-line is so pitiful.
Yeah.
They can still run block. Jahmyr Gibbs is absolutely unbelievable. But Bryce, even against, he had a hell of a game versus Tennessee, but even against Tennessee, he's been running for his life. Texas, Tennessee, even at times in the Mississippi State game that they won 30-7. He is running for his life back there most times, and he makes some damn miraculous plays that I'm just like,
I think the wide receiver core is not that good this year either, and I think that's kind of hurting him.
Maybe some coverage type pressures.
Yeah,
coverage sacks.
Yeah, and he's just not getting separation from his wide receivers, man. And I don't want to say they're not good. Obviously, they're probably 5 stars, but look at the past 5-6 years, the wide receivers they've had, big, huge names. Now they're all big NFL stars. I just don't think he really has that right now.
Yeah,
they're going to be fine, dude. Everyone's freaking out and saying, "Oh, the Nick Saban era is over. Oh, they have 2 losses."
It's far from over.
Guys, let's relax. Take a deep breath. We understand they've lost 2 games this year, but come on. It's Nick Saban. It's Alabama. They still got 5 stars on 5 stars. They're going to be back better. I think Bill O'Brien's going to be fired. I think the defense coordinator is going to be fired, and they're going to restart. And they're going to be.
Yeah, I think the one shaky thing going into next year for them, because quite frankly, their season is over. Alabama this past decade, even their fans, they don't play for non-championships. They haven't. So their season's over, is it, according to Bama fans and everybody. Like, they're still obviously going to watch it and stay tuned in, but it's just like, when you've been playing for championships last decade, like, cool, a New Year's Six bowl that's not in the playoff, like, they're not going to really care.
Yeah.
The one question mark is going to be quarterback.
Yeah, because I don't think, is it Milrose? I don't think
he can play football in the SEC. He can run the football for sure, but he hasn't shown that he can pass. And if you're that not confident in the Ty Sampson kid to take over Milroe, I don't know, man. That's the question mark. The kid is a freshman, so he may develop the Sampson or the Simpson kid.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be fine. But they obviously don't trust him yet. So that'll be interesting going in, especially if they do play Simpson, who's not a dual threat. And if they have the same woes on the offensive line like they did this year, he's not going to be making miraculous plays like Bryce has done all year long. I mean, that one play where everybody thought the play was done and he pops out and the dude's wide open. I mean, it's just miraculous shit this guy pulls off.
It's good, man. Now, I have a question for you. And out of the past 3 quarterbacks, let me say 4. Past 4 quarterbacks, who's your number 1? Rank them. And that's between Mac, Tua, Jalen, and Bryce. 1 through 4. What's your 1 through 4?
College QB or just overall?
College only. No, we're not talking about just college only, straight up. And that. It's tough because the wide receiver.
And I'm gonna have the hottest take here, but Bryce is the best quarterback of the 4. And I don't care what anybody says. He's got way less talent around him than those guys have seen. I've just seen him do just miraculous things. I'm not saying there's some duds along the line. But yeah, I'm going Bryce 1. In college, Bryce 1, Tua, Mac, and then Jalen. And that sucks so much because Jalen was such a baller.
Mac, come
But
on.
he got benched for Tua at Alabama, and you can't ignore that.
Yeah.
And I think Tua and Mac is close, but Tua just seemed to always be injured and still somehow throw for 400 yards.
That little
So,
slanted Judy man and Devontae was just easy. He was there every time.
but Mac did too. I mean, they both benefited off of their receiver play, no doubt. That's why I'm not saying the stats are there to back my theory up, but I think Bryce is the best quarterback. I'm not saying he's going to be the best. He's a little short, so I'm not saying he's going to be the best in the NFL.
Yeah.
But I think just the plays he makes in the eye test, it's like unbelievable. Whereas Tua and Mac and even sometimes Jalen Hurts, they just had dudes that were 15 yards open down the field. Like it, and Bryce is throwing into windows that are like this big because his receivers can't get separation. But
Yeah.
what's your take on that? On yours, what's your top four?
College only, and it's crazy because Bryce has only been here. What, this is his second year, or is it his
Starter for second year. He's a
second
junior
year?
though.
You know, the I think Bryce overall is the better quarterback, but and like you said, and the stats isn't there. And if you're just going to go by stats only, I mean, I think Tua's one. Um, I think Bryce is two, and then Jalen, and then Mac.
Wow, Mac fourth.
Yeah,
And
and
Mac dominated that year. What, 14-0, 15
yeah,
and 0?
yeah. I mean, he was good, man. But I think Jalen was really good. I think
He
that
just
off.
got benched.
I know.
I can't put a guy that got benched over. And people will forget about that, man. At Alabama, he could not throw the football.
No,
He
he's gotten a lot better.
struggled.
Yes, he did.
And then he went to an Oklahoma system, got to face really easy defenses and people wide open. And it just built his confidence. He always had the arm strength and the talent. He just wasn't very accurate with the football at times. There was times where he'd get hot and he would look
Yeah,
really, really good
yeah.
for Alabama. But yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that take. Bryce, the line is worse. The talent on the receiver, the separation isn't there. And that he just makes timely plays with his feet. He wasn't as elusive of a runner as Jalen, but he makes timely plays when he needs to in his feet. He doesn't want to run, but he can.
Yeah. I think Tua was just because Tua had the weapons, and that's the only reason why I'm picking Tua over Bryce is because he had the weapons
Well,
and
yeah,
he
I'm
threw
doing
away
it.
too.
I'm kind of deleting all that and just
Yeah,
taking my eyes,
yeah.
what I'm watching. Yeah.
Anyways, other than that, game one, Missouri at Tennessee. Tennessee's minus 20.5. What do you like?
Missouri's hung in there this year. They've played their however many losses they have in the SEC is totaled by 18 points. But it's a sold out stadium in Neyland. I think we need style points, and I think Heupel knows that, and I think we win by more than 21 points, 3 touchdowns. Their defense has improved this year. It's good, but I think we need some style points. I don't think they can score the football very good at all. They just lost to Kentucky, who we beat the living crap out of. So, and I know transitive property doesn't really work, but I got the balls.
Y'all spanked Missouri last year. I think obviously you're a lot better team than last year. I think y'all beat them, 56-10 last year. It was
It was bad. It was 28 nothing or 35-0 at the end of the first quarter.
And y'all ran for 400 or 500 yards. I think y'all
more improved, better team this year.
Yeah, y'all just got hit in the mouth by Georgia, and now you're coming out. You're hungry. I don't want to say you got humbled at all, but you definitely, maybe a little bit. But you got hit in the mouth. Now you're about to come out, and you're about to beat people's asses.
Me too.
I like Tennessee minus 20. Next game is going to be an interesting one because this take's going to be interesting by me. LSU at Arkansas. LSU minus 3.5.
No, because I'm kind of on the train that they may get upset.
I like Arkansas money line. Sprinkle a little bit, give them a little bit of life.
Yeah. So I think they can win this football game, but I'm still going to go with the hot hand in LSU.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've seen that take a lot of places. I don't think KJ Jefferson's healthy enough to lead them to a victory here. I like what Jaden Daniels is doing. I think Rocket Sanders can still have a good day versus LSU. But I think they get it done because I think they have to get it done.
I think they have to get it done too, but I think this is just me going back against Brian Kelly again. I think he's definitely proved himself that he can coach in the SEC, but I think they're too focused on the future, and Arkansas's here now. They did get upset last weekend against Liberty and kind of got embarrassed at home. So I like this game to be actually closer than what people are thinking it's going to be.
Yeah.
Arkansas is going to have a chance to win the game. Are they going to win it? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm losing my faith a little bit in Sam.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
hmm. Liberty last week was.
Liberty's a
I think
solid group of five
outcoached.
team. Hugh
I think
Freeze
he's
has done a hell of a
outcoached.
job, but they should not beat an SEC team that
Correct.
coming into the season was a top 15 team. So
Yeah, I think
that's
it's
just
just
shitty.
simply
And they were down 21-0 in that game.
correct. I think it's just out coaching. That's it. I think Hugh Freeze is better, obviously a better coach. But
Yep. Yep. I'd agree.
give me Arkansas though. Alabama at Ole Miss. Alabama minus 12. I think Alabama's going to absolutely blow them out. I think definitely 14 plus. I don't think their home is that. It's not going to be home field advantage. I don't think it's going to be as loud as what Alabama has been playing against this year. I don't see Alabama having 3 losses, and I may be wrong, but I don't think Ole Miss has enough power.
Yeah. This is a weird game because I keep saying Alabama's going to come out and blow someone out, but they just keep not doing it.
Yeah,
But Ole Miss is, they're one of those teams that literally hasn't beaten anybody. I'm not saying they haven't played anybody, but they haven't beaten anybody. They've only played LSU and Kentucky. Kentucky now we know is not very good.
in Auburn.
They should have lost that game at home.
In Auburn.
They'll be able to. They run the football a lot, and I think Alabama's pass defense is terrible, but I think their run defense is actually pretty good. Their front 4 and front 7 is good.
Yeah.
To'o, former Tennessee player, he can guard the run. He's terrible in the pass, so I think they'll be prepared. I don't know if I'm comfortable with 12, but I like a teaser this week with them involved at -5. But if I have to pick, I guess I'm going to go Bama again.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like I said, there's 2 teams I will never bet against. That's Alabama and that's Ohio State, and that's it.
yeah, the only time I bet against Alabama, I think, was this year against Tennessee, and it worked out. So,
Next game is Oklahoma at West Virginia. Oklahoma is -8. I've been on West Virginia all year until now. They're not playing good, man. They're 3-6. They are playing at home, but the fans are quit showing up because nobody likes Neil Brown. JT Daniels has been struggling the past couple of games. He does not look as good. I wouldn't be surprised if he sat out the rest of the year due to an injury, more so to focus on the NFL. But yeah, I like Ole Miss. I like Oklahoma -8 here.
yeah, they play good at home. I mean, they fought TCU down to the wire at home. You just never know what you're really going to get with West Virginia this year. And lately, it's been the bad, and maybe they're just bad. I mean, they've had if you have 1 or 2 good games out of 9 games, you're just bad, and the others are bad. You're just bad. And Oklahoma lost to Baylor last week by 3. They played a pretty good football team. Baylor has 3 or 4 losses, but they're a pretty good football team. So I like them. This may be another game that I cook up with Bama, and I give a -1 teaser in here for Oklahoma. I may not like 8 because their defense isn't good enough. That doesn't mean they can't stop West Virginia. Most people have been stopping them, but if I had to pick, I'd go Oklahoma as well. I just haven't seen anything from West Virginia to go with them all season, besides against maybe Pittsburgh.
The next game is Georgia at Mississippi State. Georgia is -16. I'll let you go first.
I'm confused. I don't think they have a letdown. Kirby knows that people think they're going to have a letdown. I've seen it's going to be a letdown. I've seen it's going to be rocking in whatever the little freaking stadium with the cowbells. They're just not going to score, man. Mississippi State is not going to score. They couldn't score on Alabama. Who the hell thinks they're going to score on Georgia? They gave up 33 points to Auburn. Georgia has a better offense. They can run the football better than Auburn, who ran it down their throats. I mean, dude, give me Georgia by 30. Like, I don't understand this line, and I may add them to the teaser in a -9. There's not going to be no letdown game. It's Kirby Smart. He's going to be ready.
I want to say Mississippi State +17, but dude, the way that I saw Auburn move the ball and stop Mississippi State is is pretty sad. And Georgia is a 100 points better than we are in any game. I like Georgia big as well. I don't know the specific stat, but I want to say Mississippi State scored a total of 3 points in the second half, and this is not including overtime. They scored 3 points. We stopped them. I don't know. We made some type of adjustment, and they couldn't get it going. And if you can't handle one of Auburn's worst teams, I don't know how you're going to handle one of the best teams.
Well, you've seen it this year. They've just had duds.
Man.
Bama, dud, 0 until last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
LSU, after the first drive, dud, basically no points after the first drive. I mean, I just think people know how to stop this off because it's only throwing.
It's only throwing, yeah.
All they do is throw, and all they do is throw very short routes. It's not like they're going deep. They're not trying to confuse you. They're saying, I'm throwing a 5-yard out here, a screen here, a 5-yard in there. And it's predictable.
Dude, so we hadn't had sacks all year until this game. I think we had 3 or 4 that night with a couple forced fumbles. I don't know. If you can't stop Auburn's defense, you ain't stopping Georgia, I promise. So give me Georgia big. Next game is a little surprising to me. I don't know what they're seeing, but Kansas State is at Baylor, and Baylor's -2.5. I like Kansas State big. Give me +3 Kansas State with the points. It just makes sense.
I don't like them big. I think Baylor's a good football team. Not great, but they're solid. I think most teams in the Big 12 are at least solid. They actually have a pretty deep conference this year. But I'm not going to think too much into it because, they're at Baylor. It's going to be sold out. They're a good football team. Kansas State is playing really good right now. They get the tough loss against Texas, but Texas is also a good football team. I think the value's too good there. I may even just sprinkle some money line. I bet it's plus 130-ish, So I haven't watched too much of Baylor this year either.
I know I saw them.
I've seen the final scores of games.
Yeah.
And I think I watched them a little bit versus Oklahoma State, who drubbed them at Baylor.
Yeah.
So
biggest game of the weekend right here, man. TCU at Texas. Texas -7. Texas has been playing good football, man. I have not sat down and watched TCU play this year, so I can't really talk a lot about TCU. Obviously, they're their 4th best team. Everyone's high on them. They're undefeated. They're having a great year. It's at Texas, man, and it's at night. That place is going to be rocking. The fans have showed up all year. Quinn Ewers is on fire. Steve Sarkisian's going to have those guys playing, man. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't know if 7. I think 7's too much. I like TCU +7, but I like Texas to win the game.
Yeah. I'm excited because I need this win for Texas.
Yeah.
I've never said that in my entire life. So yeah. I need Texas to win. Ewers has had Ewers, whatever it is, has had one bad half the whole year as a second half versus Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State was on the road in a hostile environment. You give the kid a break. He had a tough outing. This is at home at night. This defense is good. Patterson is good. Is a good football coach. And I think what they did versus Bama can maybe be similar. Now, TCU goes a little faster, but I think their defense can cause problems for the TCU offense. The TCU is still going to score. But, I like Texas maybe -7, and then I might throw them into the teaser and get them that money line, because I do think TCU can hang in there. They're still a solid football team. They've shown that all year. But I like Texas at home at night. Quinn Ewers is going to have a special night and knock off the number 4 team in the country.
Oh yeah. Last game, Texas A&M at Auburn. Auburn is -1.5. I'll let you go.
I need to know if the Weigman kid is playing. If he's playing, they're a much different football team.
I'm assuming he's playing. Let's assume
he's a good football player.
It was just an illness, so let's assume he's playing Saturday.
And I don't know how in the hell they had the Connor kid playing, the Hayes King. Sorry, not Connor. Hayes King playing over Connor. Because this Weigman dude is good. He's a good football player. But give me the Tigers, baby.
Come on.
Give me the Tigers under Cadillac freaking Williams, the legend. They're going to be playing their damn hearts out in front of a sold out crowd. That crowd, I promise you, is going to be amped up. I was in the same situation 2 years ago in 2020 or 2019. We played a South Carolina team and we were 3-5 and we had just fired a coach and the crowd just loved it. We were all into it. It's going to be loud in that place. I promise you. Auburn wins.
I honestly don't know. My heart obviously says Auburn, but the problem is it's Auburn. We're 3-6. It's just there's just so many things because we are playing for the coach. Everyone loves Cadillac. It's freaking Cadillac Williams. He's
the crowd's gonna have renewed energy. I promise you they will. They're gonna show up. They're gonna show up.
They're already sold out and it's Thursday.
They're gonna show up.
They sold out Thursday morning or Wednesday night, something. They're gonna show up, man. I just hope we're enough. We're gonna run the football. We're not gonna throw it. We can't throw. Robbie, I can't even think of his name right now. I'm so excited. Robbie Ashford cannot throw the football, and everybody knows that. So guess what we're going to be doing? Backyard, old Auburn football, read option with Tank and Jarquez Hunter. I don't know if they're going to be able to stop it, man. We normally beat Texas A&M. I think we're 14-5 in the past 19 years against Texas A&M, especially at home. I like Auburn as well, man. And I say that, and Texas A&M will blow us the hell out, but I like Auburn. I like Auburn. And we'll do a couple NFL games. Real quick, we got Broncos at Titans. I'll be there. Titans are -3. I have no idea. I don't know what offense is going to show up. I don't know who's going to score points. Both offenses are brutal. We have a better defense.
I don't care if I was out there, me or you are out there playing quarterback. We're going to get the win.
We're going to run the damn football.
Run the damn football, play defense. If RT is healthy and playing, I think we can win this by 7+. If he's not, you may be hovering around that 3, so maybe buy it to 2.5. But I think we dominate the football game and still only win by like 6 points.
Yeah,
that's our formula right now. It's the only way we can do it.
Yep. And we're conservative. We're not going to make turnovers. We're going to punt the football. We're going to play field position. We trust our
best punter in the league, baby.
Our rookie punter, great punter. Yeah, I think that's what it is, man. And Vrabel knows it, and Vrabel's playing that. Yep. We're just going to win. That's it. Simple. So I like Titans money line. I ain't giving no points up. Titans money line. Let's win. Let's go home. Last game, Cowboys at Packers. Cowboys -4.5. Hey, discount double check. Give me fucking Packers money line. Let's go home.
I have no faith in the Packers right now. They're terrible. Coming off a loss to the Lions. Aaron might have been checked out. Trade him to the Titans. Give me the Cowboys. They're going to shut this offense down. Their defense is too good.
Other than that, that's all we got. Till next week.
All right. Peace out.
See you in Nashville.
Yes, sir.